Are we live?
Yeah.
Okay. So Permanent Makeup by Kelly, we're going live today for the first time ever, and my son Milan is kind enough to tape it here. And Pauline is going to be our model for the 3D eyebrow tattoo. And Joni's also hanging out here to answer any questions or read the questions that people are gonna ask online. So I'll try to answer everything for you. But I just wanted to show the setup first of all. So what I'm going to do first is I want to make sure she's nice and comfortable. Clean the area with some alcohol here. Get some topical anesthetic on her, and she's actually going to just kick back and relax for about 15 minutes. And she has really good skin for blading. Not everyone does. So if you have really oily, thick skin like I do, those hair strokes just won't show up. They'll sort of just blur into one while they're healing. So she has great skin. My interpretation of a 3D eyebrow is using 3 different size gauged blades. The thickest one, the widest one, is going to create a thicker, darker hair stroke, and the fine one is going to create the little fine baby hairs and make the pigment actually appear lighter than it is. So this is just some lidocaine, and I'm going to occlude the area so it stays moist for her. That way it won't dry out and it'll work a little more effectively. Are you all good?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. So in the meantime, I wanted to show everyone, I'm gonna take them over to that table, Milan, and I just wanted to explain that microblading is a tattoo. Some people are a little confused by that. And you can create hair strokes with multiple tools, not just the hand tool. So I'll kind of show a few different things I have over here. Let's see here. Let me take this. See if we have enough light here. Okay, so first of all, we have Tina Davies. Those are really high quality blades. They're very sharp. They create beautiful thick strokes or precise strokes. I'm trying to read comments at the same time. Milan, can you get on the computer? See if there's any questions while I'm going through everything here?
Yeah.
Okay, so they are made in Canada. So Tina's from Canada. What I typically use most of the time is Soft Tap. Soft Tap is a brand, and it's a manual method of applying the tattoo. Let me see if we can zoom in and show the blade we'll be using today. Milan, can you hold this? We're going to zoom into that blade. Can you see it there? Is there enough light here? Let's go over here. Can you see that now? So there's 16 little needles on there, and you push and drag into the skin to create a stroke. So I'll show that over here. Let's bring it back. And we'll just pretend this is skin here. Do we have enough light? Let me turn that this way. Yeah. All right, zoom in, Milan. So what we do is we take this little tool here, we dip it into the pigment and push and drag so it opens up the skin and lets the pigment go into the dermal area there. So you can also do this with one of these devices here. Here, Milan. These are rotary devices.
Chris says hi.
Oh, hi, Chris.
Nice shoes. Thank you.
Oh, did you see your shoes?
I guess.
All right, zoom out. Show
Okay.
this here. So this is the Prestige right here. I like to use this one for lips. These are what the cartridges look like. So they're all single use, dated, sterile. And over here we have the Skin Master, if you want to show that, Milan. There's a little pen that goes with it here. And if you turn it in or out, you can make the strokes deeper. And these are the cartridges that go with that one. Again, all dated, all very safe, 0 backflow. That one is for needling, actually skin needling. It has 12 little round needles on it. But you can use a 4 flat or a 1 prong. There's no right or wrong. It really just depends what works for the artist. Hand tool, machine. All right, and over here is my favorite. These ones are quite expensive, Nouveau Contour. But I love to use the 5 flat for the hair strokes. It's really great. Are there any questions on there so far, Milan?
Why do you like to use the 5 flat? Joni speaking.
That's just what works for me. Most people like to use a little 1 prong or 3 micro to create the little hair strokes. Round ones are for shading. You can do eyeshadow shading. I do a lot with this one when I get the opportunity. Yeah, it just depends on what works for you again. So we're gonna get back to the model here. So the next thing we're gonna do is pick out some colors for you. And I'm gonna stick with Soft Tap today, so. Let's see. This is the Soft Tap color chart. We have cools, we have neutrals, and we have warms. And how do I determine what to use? Well, when you're blading, you always want to stay a little warmer so that it doesn't heal gray, because we go a little deeper sometimes with the blading. And then I look at their skin tone. Does she have pink? Is she more olive? Does she have yellow? So if she had a lot of pink going on, I would not go too warm. I want to go a little bit the opposite. If she had very olive skin, I would do warmer. So it just depends on their skin type too and what type of eyebrow. If I were doing a fully saturated eyebrow, I would go cooler. Cooler meaning something that had a little more green in it, in this color here category. But I always help everyone determine that. You're welcome to bring your pencil with that you normally draw your eyebrows in with, and that way it helps me figure out how you see colors. Some people see them lighter, some see them darker. So we're probably going to go with, for her, the Cafe Vienna here. Cafe Vienna and Cappuccino. Really pretty colors. I'll show you the bottles. I'll get those out. So what we'll do next is smear it on her forehead. Make sure it doesn't dry too warm or too cool. That helps me determine. So here's our Soft Tap line up here. Can you see all the colors up here, Milan? So I have them divided into the neutrals and the warms. So Cafe Vienna would be over here. I'm actually gonna grab a new bottle for her.
You have one question.
Yes.
It says, what happens when your hair grows through not lining up?
What happens when your hair grows through not lining up? Oh, after having them tattooed, if they're growing out of place? I'm assuming that's what she means. It makes it actually easier to shape them after tattooing them. If you have someone do it at the salon and wax them, they know exactly where to go, or you could use a brow razor yourself. So I hope that helps answer your question. Was that Deanne?
Yeah.
Hi, Deanne.
That's like my eyebrows, Kelly.
Right, you just, it's easier to maintain them because the shape's already
Yes.
there,
Yes.
basically.
Yes, and it lasted so long.
All right, gonna get the cappuccino open here and the Cafe Vienna. We're gonna make sure those colors look great. That's the cappuccino.
She says, thank you.
You're welcome. Keep the questions coming. Just gonna mix this up a little bit because sometimes it separates with the glycerin in there. And this one. And this is the Cafe Vienna. Take this here and smear it. So I take that and we smear it from thick to thin to get the skin tone to show through. This looks beautiful already. I like this. Take a little bit of the cappuccino. This is one of my favorite mixes, especially for blondes. So that turns a little too warm on her. I'm probably going to mix it 75-25, so she'll have a custom mix here.
You got a question from Diane?
Yes.
She goes, how often does it need to be touched up?
That's a good question. So it varies. It varies on the person, their body chemistry, the color we're using. Some colors fade quicker than others, the pigment line. Some have a higher concentration than others, a higher pigment load, I should say. So for the blading, it's 1 to 3 years, usually just every year on best. If you're doing a full powder eyebrow, I get 3 years out of mine. That's the average. So, and sun, the amount of sun exposure you get. If you're living in Florida and you're in the sun a lot, you'll need a ton more touch-ups than somebody that lives out here in the Midwest. Who's vitamin D deficient, basically, out here.
Teresa says, hi, Kelly.
Oh, Teresa who?
Teresa, no.
Oh, hi! She did my beautiful lips. I love my lips, Teresa. Thank you so much. And I actually have her manual up there. You can zoom in. There's Teresa, the lip queen.
Oh.
She's taught me a lot of tips and tricks, so I'm thankful for her. So Milan, if we cut out and let her numb a few more minutes, like 5 or 10 minutes, we can go back on live with the same feed or a new feed.
Okay.
Is that how
And
it
then,
works?
Um,
You're the tech man today.
You can probably keep it live. Just put it on mute or something.
Put it on mute?
Yeah. So you want to take a 10-minute break?
Yeah. We're
Okay.
gonna let her numb up for a little bit while I get everything set up, and then I'll show
Should
how
we
it works
let
when I start
everybody
doing the
know
hair
that we're
strokes.
gonna take that break?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hear me right now.
Oh,
And
I
then
see.
for you, she says, Midwest is the best, Teresa, and she goes, thank you. And then Diane says, is it a one-time application?
No, actually, it's 2 times. She will come back 6 weeks later. The color sometimes blooms back a little bit on week 6, which is why we wait that long. But I give my clients, if they can't make that 6-week mark, you'll come back up to 3 months later if needed. Yeah. Thanks for the question. We'll take a little break.
Did you get it, Milan?
Yeah. Actually, we'll just end it and then we'll come back.
Okay,
So we'll just start it back up in about 10 minutes.
okay, that sounds good.